Hey guys, that's your Command Shooter and Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video, guys. Hopefully it finds you all doing well out there. And if not, I am sending some love and some positive vibes your way out there today if you need it. Today, I want to talk about Nerfs, something we don't like to talk about here on the channel at all. But before that, apropos of nothing, if you're unfamiliar with me here on the channel, I like to share a little bit of media recommendations with you guys. You know, TV show, documentary, music is my world. But today, it's actually going to be a video game. I got into this video game. I got into Switch about like a year or two ago. I'm not a big console gamer, you know, after the year 1994, I guess. But I got into Switch and I picked out for the first time, I played with my 6-year-old, you know, I picked out a dad game, a game just for me. I love Metroidvania, I love Castlevania specifically. I picked up Blasphemous 2. Oh man, amazing storyline, and I usually don't geek out on storylines in games. It's got a dark vibe, dark feel. I'm not here to give an ad for that game. This is not an ad, by the way. Just a recommendation to check it out if that's your thing. Anyway, guys, today I've been covering, today and every day from here on out, I've been covering mobile games or games in general on YouTube for over 10 years. That's 10 years of daily uploads. I started with Clash of Clans back in 2014, and over the decade, I've really learned a lot about game design, a healthy game design, and I wanted to share my opinions specifically on balancing as it pertains to nerfs in a game like Watcher of Realms, right? So the reason I'm making this video today is because I see so many videos out there this week. I don't know if it's my feed or what on YouTube, but so many recommendations on Boreas or Boreas or however you want to say his name. I'm just going to call him Bo. You mind that if I call him Bo? The big blue Bo. You know what? This dude, he's a monster, and I'm not here to say anything other than that. As a matter of fact, he's skyrocketed my progress, almost instantaneously able to clear Gear Raid 1 and Gear Raid 2, Stage 21, with the help of the big blue guys. So obviously, you might say, I'm sure some of you in the comments, God knows, will say, of course you don't want him to get nerfed, Ash, you've got him, of course. I'm not one of those people. If anything, I'm one of those individuals in life that I'm too critical, and I overcompensate and too cynical on things that I have when evaluating them, right? That's one of my flaws or strengths, depending on how you look at it as an individual. So I'm not making this video saying don't nerf him because I have him. The truth is he's a absolute monster, and I do think it's fair to say that he power crept, well, every mage in the game. You know, obviously, you know, mages like a Vierna, mages like a Comet, and so on and so forth are still very good. But to me, Boreas with his AoE ice damage that just kills everything and nukes the entire battlefield, and his control, his damage, everything. He really power crept pretty much everybody in this game, you know? That's not to say, though, if you don't have him that you can't still progress without him, obviously. That would be an issue, but that's really seldom the issue in games like these. Now, there's other heroes, too, that were recently added to the game. I got my hands on one of them that I'm starting to hear on Predus, people say kind of the same thing about, that maybe he's too powerful, maybe you shouldn't be able to use his unbelievable ultimate that's actually, like, on his ultimate, or on his Lord skill, excuse me, you get, like, even if he's not on the battlefield, you get like a button where you can manually decide what you want to use, like out of his Lord skill, even when he's not there. Anyway, a lot of people are saying this should be nerfed as well out there. But going back to the big blue guy, I'm just going to run a random Stage 21 raid so we can look at something in the background. It'll stare at my face the entire video. So without further ado, what is my point, right? Well, my point is this. On Boreas, I don't think he should be nerfed. And I watched a couple of videos in preparation for this video because I want to see what other people are saying out there. And it seems like the community is pretty divided on if this dude should get a nerf. Some people are saying just a small nerf. I don't want to see him get any nerf at all. It's not because I have him. Trust me. You don't have to trust me, but that's the truth. It actually extends to Raid Shadow Legends, which I cover on my other YouTube channel. After I started playing these gacha games specifically about 5 years ago, I recognized something that, sure, you can make an argument that, yeah, the whales have these heroes, right? The whales have these heroes, so what do they care if they get nerfed or whatever, right? And it's easier to get them if you're spending a lot of money. But I also realized that the majority of my viewers that actually have Boreas, for example, are not these massive krakens and whales. They're people who actually just got lucky, you know? The majority of people out there, right? And how crappy of a feeling might it be if you're a free-to-play player, or just anybody who's just not a massive spender, someone's not dropping thousands of dollars a month, every month on this game, and even if you are a spender, to get this dude after wanting him for so long, the most powerful hero in the game, and then some freaking talking head on YouTube comes out there and it's just like, nah, he deserves a nerf. And then they nerf him. There's got to be no worse feeling, because essentially you're either getting incredibly lucky or you're paying to get lucky and getting your hands on these heroes, right? So in games like this, there's a couple different solutions, right? I actually had a collab with Fastidious on his channel going live, I think today or tomorrow, where we actually talked about this topic a little bit, right? And I think that there's two solutions here. Yes, he has power crept a lot. Yes, he's one of the most powerful heroes inside the entire game, bar none, right? We all agree on that. But the answer is not necessarily nerfing for the reasons I already outlined, right? The answer is like threefold, twofold, right? Number one is we can just buff other underwhelming legendary heroes. Not every hero in the game, in these games, needs to be the strongest hero in the game, certainly, right? How's he doing over here? I mean, look at this. Look at him and look at Vierna. What? What? Okay, I made my point strong. That not every hero has to be the best hero in the game. And I got news for you, whether you like it or whether you hate it, a hero like Boreas, he's gonna be the best thing in the history of the world right now. Do I even have my team set to auto fight? Maybe not, but he might not be the best champion in the game. Yeah, okay, we're good. He might be the best champion in the game right now today, best hero. But in a year from now, he won't be, because in order to incentivize spending on the whales and the krakens and the big spenders, you need to essentially power creep in these games. It's how they all work, you know, whether it's Genshin Impact, whether it's Summoner's War, Raid Shadow Legends, you name it. They continuously release better heroes to incentivize their top spenders and spenders in general to spend more to try to get them. Did you guys see the guy sneak by? It's not supposed to happen. Anyway, my point is that's going to happen. These games are essentially built in with power creep in mind. If you don't like that, I can understand and I can empathize, but it's also the reality of these games. It's not going to go away. But what you can do is you can have a constant healthy cycle of buffs that will buff, not, you know, I don't think that Comet and Vierna need a buff to be on the same level as Boreas. I think that the most underwhelming heroes in the game, the most underwhelming legendary mages, or even the averages, buff some of those. And that prevents this power creep from just really accumulating, excuse me, and just snowballing, right? We don't want that, because then it just relegates every hero that was awesome last year is no longer awesome. Another thing that they can do here is, especially as it pertains to PvP in a game like this, they can simply, and this is the easiest way to do it, they can buff counters, or they can introduce natural counters to some of these heroes, right? So that's another way to solve this dilemma, if you will, about Boreas. Now, obviously, he was my only DPS here, so he's going to pull out a million, or make it 17 million damage, right? So that's another route they can go. And then the final route they can go, and I think this is really important, and so far, so good. Watcher of Realms has been amazing. I don't think they've made many misplays so far. One thing that they've been pretty crappy at is their buffs so far, their reworks. Like I heard Kriya's, Crashes, Azor, They've really missed the mark on a lot of their buffs. So I think they can get better at that. You know, they don't have to overbuff these legendaries or these heroes in general, but, you know, clearly you can give them something a little bit more exciting than what they have been on some of these guys. You know, a few that I mentioned here. Well, quite a few that I mentioned here, right? What they can also do is they do a great job of giving us awesome free heroes. Well, for free. Awesome heroes for free, right? You know, almost everybody can get their hands on a Wrath, who's just an absolutely amazing fighter in the game. Everybody, I don't need to tell you all the freebies they give us, but they give us some of the best epics truly in the game for free. Mari is amazing. Olog is fantastic. And they keep adding them too. They add them, you know, not super frequently, but they added Greed now as a login as well. And he's really good as well. I guess my point here is, as things keep continuing to get power crept through the evolution of the game, the nature of the beast, I think what they can do to help circumvent some of the power creep is also to add very compelling free heroes along the way, alongside. And, you know, we saw that maybe a little bit with the Arbiters, right? For example, with Alistair, they gave him as not a free, but, you know, in Raid, for example, they'll give these loyalty. You know, we just got Rathalos Blade Master, for example, example, in the game, they'll give when things start getting power crept, they give everybody in the game a totally free power crept free legendary, basically, meaning that free legendary is usually a little bit better than the last free legendary they gave. Again, in Raid, they had Rathalos and Artak and Sun Wukong and UDK and Deliana, and they just keep getting in Ninja. They're really good, you know? I think this game can, and it seems like they're already going in that direction, to be fair. So this is not really criticism. This is just what I think is healthy for the game like this. I don't want this to be a 20-minute video because I could just keep talking game design and game design and game design. And also I would love to kind of cover some of the maybe devil's advocate point of views here. But I feel like you're only really in danger as it pertains to power creep, and the only time I would see justification for an immediate nerf on a hero in a game like this is if it was a massive power balance in PvP, right? Where if you just don't have this hero, you're just toast, right? And even in those situations, I still don't want nerfs, right? I don't want them. In those situations, the right move is to buff a counter so we can have good counterplay, right? Good solutions, good answers, even if you don't have those heroes. So I guess TLDR, nah, I'm not a fan of nerfing the most powerful hero in the game, or at least one of them. What about you guys? Where do you stand on this conversation, on this topic? I find it very interesting to see what other people say. I'm very curious if the majority of you guys are gonna be in favor of a nerf, even a small one, or on my side of the fence where you don't, even if you don't have them, or even if you do have them, whatever, if you don't want to see him nerfed. Guys, let me know in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.